All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to everyone who was here this morning and also all subscribers. HTS, thank you very much for that. I appreciate you. Oops. Be right back. Let me go ahead and grab my phone. Be right back. Right, not sure where I left it, but I'll find it later. No need for it now. All right, looks like during the lunch hour, we had a retracement. Well, first thing, right as we were getting off, we had a break above this order block, so we can delete it, but it did retrace back down into it. Let's go back up to the 5 minute. All right, so that level that it was stuck in finally got rid of. But we saw what happened. Actually, let me put it back up first. All right, so before I delete this, we saw what happened, right? It was stuck in the zone. We had a play below, sweeping lows, sweeping liquidity, and then we had the displacement to the upside. Had a retracement back in. If you had put a fair value gap here, right? If you were looking for an entry, that would have gave you an entry there, down to that low. 1 to 2, you'd still be in the trade, but this is what your TP would look like. You would have taken some heat though, for sure. So you have a 25-point stop, which may not be okay for some. So you would have had to go down to a lower time frame. In this case, you would have got stopped out on this time frame. Yep, same here. All right, so anything below the 4 minute would have stopped you out. There would not have been an entry for you to take. I'm sorry, there would have been an entry, but your stop would have been too tight for the way price retraced back down. Yep, even on the 1 minute, I don't see a place where you could have gotten in and your stop would have held. Yep. All right, let's go back to the 5 minute. So like I said, it would have been a 25-point stop. So it would have been pretty sizable and one that you would have taken heat of almost 20 points. Let's see if it made it down to this fair value gap, because that actually could be interesting to look at. Yep, it made it just to it. So this may actually have been the optimal entry. Yep. In that case, a 1 to 2 entry would have been here. 43 points. And your stop loss would have been about 22. So you would have just, in the last couple minutes, TP'd out. But in that case, since you see this one, you see this fair value gap here, which would have an extension here, you could go ahead and pull this one to there. And even though you got a much better entry, now you see you're looking at a 1 to 3 trade. Right. And even since then, there has been another fair value gap. So what if you entered here? All right, so that's even lower, so you don't worry about it. You sit here and you wait to see if price retraces and then pushes up. So if we get price to retrace through this fair value gap and it keeps going lower, then no harm, no foul. You don't do anything. However, and this is, you can try this if you like. This is something I've been looking at through backtesting sessions recently. But now, like let's say price retraces to this fair value gap and then buys out and you start seeing higher prices. Well, this fair value gap, a 1 to 2 trade would extend here. So in that case, you would still extend your trade to there, assuming we get a retrace here and then bullish momentum out. If we don't get bullish momentum, then it would be back at the previous level because this fair value gap did get traded to. However, if we do get that and you're able to extend your TP this high, you could be looking at almost a 1 to 4 trade. But for now, we'll continue watching. But we do have a reasonable expectation that the next draw on liquidity will be here at 394. So this TP at 405 is another 10 points. And it's not guaranteed, but I think it'd be reasonable to expect for that level to be reached. All right, there we go. I think my bit rate should be better now. I was getting some messages saying that bit rate was a little slow and you guys may be experiencing buffers. How's the feed going out there? Are you guys able to see me and understand clearly? Okay, awesome. Good. Wanted to make sure you guys are good on your side. I'll carry on. All right, Gabriel, welcome to the feed. I don't think I've seen you mention anything in the comment section before. Glad to have you. Right. I want to remind everyone that we do have FOMC today at 2 o'clock. So we have 45 minutes of trading left prior to that announcement. Make sure you protect yourself if you're in a position. Also, make sure you're aware of what FOMC is and that you protect yourself if you're looking for a position between now and then. All right. Looks like price is going to continue upwards without retracing back down. So if it hits here, then if you're in a trade, go ahead and TP out as opposed to trying to extend it because we did not get a retracement into this fair value gap. Oh, okay, Gabriel. No problem. Yeah, if you have any questions, go ahead and put it in the chat. We have a good group here who are happy to help at all times. Also, myself, I'll jump in and answer any questions you may have. Wow. All right, we've been on here for 15 minutes and we've almost had 50 points delivered. Just show of hands. Anyone in a long? Anyone already in a long? Okay, another point of liquidity removed. We can delete that line. We can delete this one as well. We have equal highs up above at 426. All right, so no one's in a trade at the moment. No worries. But I was just showing what a trade would look like if you were already in, and also potential way to maybe extend the TP a little bit without taking on too much additional risk. All right, Dr. J, congratulations. Glad you're having a good day so far. Um, well, we have equal highs right here at the 425 or 426. And I don't know if you caught what I was doing, but the first thing I did was I looked at a 1 to 2 trade because I like fair value gaps to do 1 to 2. Right. And so this trade here, 1 to 2, stopped right at this point. Okay. But before reaching that point, when it was over here, it traded down into this fair value gap. So what I did was I then took the long tool and I said, well, what if we entered at that fair value gap? Where would that 1 to 2 be? So in order to get a 1 to 2 on this trade, we needed to go this high. So what I did is I took the original trade, even though it still entered down here. I just kept extending the TP to match up with the next similar trade along the same trend. Trying to see if you know how people say, oh, let the runner run, trying to see if I can extend out the TP a little bit on the same entrance without having to take on additional risk. And so far it is not, well, actually, I think I had it marked wrong. I think the end is here. Boom. So it hit exactly 1 to 2 trade from this fair value gap. The last entrance was at 12:55, but you could have entered any time during lunch. It was in that fair value gap. But the very last time you could have gotten in was at 12:55. And then we saw it buy out. It went exactly 1 to 2 on that trade, which was 34 points delivered on a, wait a minute, sorry, not 34, 49 and a half points delivered. Sorry, 49 and a half points delivered on 24 3/4 risk. But from the original down at this fair value gap, that was 70 points delivered on a 21 point stop loss. So a 1 to 3.2. Enter there. Exit at this candle. Yep. Okay. Yep. So that was right. So it did TP out, and that would have been a 70 point delivery from this lower one, or like I said, 49 points from this lunchtime fair value gap. And this is all done on a 5-minute chart. I wasn't watching the chart during lunch. I was doing something else. And so this is the first time I'm looking at it. And I just wanted to frame up the trade for anyone who was already in a position. And pull that out. And again, that's just something I've been trying during my back testing sessions just to see if it works. And it seems to work pretty well. Something you may want to try during your back testing sessions as well. All right, big bro, welcome in. I did not take that trade. Nope, that trade was originated during lunchtime. I don't trade during lunch. I turn the charts off and walk away. So I was not in that trade. But some people also were maybe in this fair value gap before lunch, and they wrote it out. And so I was just framing it up to let them know where they could get out, where their exit could be. Mm. I'm going to measure and see how far we've moved and what type of retracement we're looking at. All right, so above us, we have several liquidity points that have not been touched today. We have equal highs at 426. We then have the midnight open. So the midnight open has been touched earlier, so that's not a huge concern for us. But we do have the New York high as well. New York high was made 830, has not been traded back to yet. And ultimately, we have the London high sitting above at 469. 469 is the London high. London high was made at 325, has not been traded back to yet. All right, Young, good afternoon. Welcome back. All right, let's see if it can break down and get down to this lower fair value gap. But there's always a chance that it won't be able to. It'll stay where it was and then move forward. We did get a 50% retracement at that level. See, the 50% is right here at 375. We got 2 dips in that level. All right. Anyone took that entry? One to two trade for you would be right here at this the opening gap. Yep, so we have the new day opening gap here in the yellow. All right, want to remind everyone it's now 1:30. 1:30. We have a half hour before FOMC is announced. All right, Wiki, we'll check in with you at around 2:15, and let's see how your price prediction worked out. Now that Wiki decided that he wanted to get the ball rolling, anybody else have an FOMC prediction? My prediction from earlier is I was predicting that we'd shoot down to 17,100, so pretty far down, get into that range, hit a low that it wants to hit, and then start moving upwards for the rest of the week as we look for taking out the all-time highs, or at least getting close to it. So that would take us 17 down to 17,100, and then back up to around 17,800. Again, not all today, but 17,800 by the end of the week. But this would get us to put in a low for the week, and then we'd be bullish for tomorrow and Friday. Hey, well, if you've been with me long enough, you know my predictions aren't always right either. So, but what's important is that you be able to look at the market and come up with something. If you look at the market and you can't come up with anything, then you still have some more learning to do as far as what price is looking for, and then just market structure in general. All right. Question is this kind of like a three drives pattern? Will we get this? Right. And maybe next what we get is this. All right. But I reserve the right to be wrong. But if you do see lows swept, let's see, we got almost equal lows here. And it's not too bad, but we do have relative equal ones here and relative equal ones here. So yeah, as we look at what's below us, just understand it may want to come and get that. Leave these equal highs up here for later. Come and grab these after it makes it down to 17,100 or somewhere lower. It may not get down to 17,100. That's just kind of what I was looking at. But I have several areas marked up: 17,227, 17,169. I think that's it. If you cut it in the middle, it's 17,200. So somewhere in this range, 225 to 170. And I'll show you why I came up with those areas. Right. We have equal lows set on Friday, January 19th here, and equal lows also Friday, January 19th at 10 o'clock. And this was about 11:40. Right. I mean, there are more lows down here as well. Just had to cut it off somewhere. Right. And if we go up to the 15-minute, let's see, 15 minutes gives us something else. See, on the 15-minute, we still had equal lows on this this level. This level is not equal lows anymore, but it is a swing low. Yep. Here we go on the hourly. Still equal lows at 168. All right, so that's the reason for those levels. We'll go ahead and get back down to the 5-minute, and we have about 20 minutes before FOMC, so it's on its way. It's coming. This trade didn't quite deliver 1 to 2. It only gave a little over 1 to 1. Let's see exactly what it delivered. Almost 1.5%, but not quite 1 to 2. So let's see if once we get FOMC, if we get a run up into the new day opening gap, which is the yellow, then a big push down to the levels I was just discussing, and then coming back up later. Yep, they did 2 and then 2:30 conference. So yeah, you're not in already and you haven't cashed out from 2 to 3, you may want to just pay attention and just look and see how things are moving. But don't try to actively engage with the market. If you want to engage with the market from 2 to 3, switch over to your demo account. Make sure you're not hurting yourself. Especially everyone who's new and has only seen a handful of FOMCs before, have never traded it, do yourself a favor and do not trade FOMC today. Two point 76. All right, let's check out the sentiment of the other indices as well as the dollar as we're waiting for FOMC to be announced. Right. All right, we have the dollar so far trading in internal range here for the hour, slightly bullish, but we have wicks on both sides. As we move over to the Dow, look at these wicks. It's very indecisive. It's trading up and down every hour, landing somewhere near the origin. Right, it's been in. If you look at all the candle bodies are sitting in this one little tight zone right here. Wicks, wild wicks up, wild wicks down, taking out liquidity, pulling stops, canceling trades. But the candle bodies all sitting here in the center. Not a lot of retracement happening. The Dow has been extremely strong this week. We saw it yesterday. We even saw it today. It was stronger than what we've seen from the others. Right, you can look at S&P, whereas S&P has been seeing lower prices and closing lower, whereas that's what the Dow pushed down, had lower prices, but it traded back up and closed back in the zone. Right, and Nasdaq even worse. Nasdaq has been the weaker of the three for the second consecutive day, where it's continuously looking and seeking for lower prices. Anytime we get higher prices, it's only to find some type of bearish PD array, and it's flushing down again. So we have FOMC coming in 15 minutes. We'll look and see where we're landing there. Right now we have the Dow. Like I said, the Dow is selling, but these two are buying. So we don't like it when they're not together and moving in the same direction, moving at the same speed. And we like for them to walk away from the dollar. We don't want them to hold hands and walk with the dollar. And right now we have the dollar buying. So the next 15 minutes, hopefully that all breaks apart And then when FOMC starts, we'll see that congruency that we're looking for to give us easier price action. But again, it's FOMC. So if you're new, definitely protect yourself. Even if you're a veteran, it's probably not worth it to jump in, get into demo, test and see what you can do. But don't do it with live funds. Just not advised. All right, gonna go back over to NAS. RBJ, how's it going? All right, Wiki Digit. And for you're closing your long and look at what's happening. That's what always happens to me, by the way. When I get frustrated and close out, then it decides it wants to move in the direction I thought it would go. Yep, we move these long twos out of the way so we have a clear chart as we look forward to what's coming in the next hour. All right, Kendrick. Yeah, go ahead and throw your stop. You got an easy target here, or not easy, but the easiest of the targets at 403. You just want to make sure you're done in the next 12 minutes. If 403 would be one of the easier targets to go for, make sure your stop is in a good position. If you're able to break 403, if you see that it's running, then possibly you can go for 426. But again, make sure you protect yourself, because even if you have a stop loss, if FOMC has one of those candles that in 1 second it moves 40, 50 points, it either may not activate and close you out, or it may close you out well below what you thought it would close you out at. So definitely protect yourself. Yep, there you go, TJ. See, TJ's talking about the slippage there. All right, Kendrick. Good job. We'd have bagged some profits there. Looked like you probably ended up with anywhere from 15 to 25 points. So good job on that one. Yeah, I'm gonna drop down for just a couple minutes. I'll drop down to the low time frame just so we can see during this macro period what it does before FOMC. Just see how does the macro behave before 2 o'clock news. Yep. Okay, Kendrick. Yeah, I wasn't sure of your experience level, but it sounds like you know exactly what to do. All right, everyone, we're heading into FOMC. If you can, go ahead and help me out and hit the like button. We have 68 people in the room right now, and only 20 people hit the like button. Go ahead and hit that. Therefore, during FOMC, YouTube will promote us out to others looking for live trading. They'll then join our room for the next hour, and we'll be able to watch FOMC together and bring in a whole new group of people who haven't been to the live stream yet. So go ahead and help me out and hit that like button. I know many of the regulars have already done it, and I really appreciate you doing it. But for any of the newcomers who aren't accustomed to it, go ahead and do that. Oh yeah, 6 cuts. That is a lot. You're right about that. I know the forecast so far. What I looked at, the forecast for today is to keep it the same. So yeah, we'll see what they do. But yeah, six in a year is a lot, especially when they are optimistic about the future. But I don't think they're like extremely optimistic. 6 rate cuts seems similar to, a couple years ago where we saw 6 consecutive rate hikes. And if they do, I guess 6 quarter point cuts, I guess that gets us down to about 4%, whereas today we're at 5.5. $16,982. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. So you're talking about the daily fair value gap below the one that we're currently in. So you're looking for it to drop even lower to the next one. Okay. Well, that would be 50%. That would be below 50% of the next leg. I mean, of the current bullish leg that we started on, I guess, January 5th. So if you just look at all the bullish momentum starting on January 5th on the daily, and you do that measurement, then yes, we get just below 50% above that fair value gap. So 50%, I'm looking at 17,124. 17,124. Um, the level that I'm looking for the retracement to get to is around 17,100. And I think it's at the very top of that fair value gap that you're talking about. You were measuring the very bottom. I was looking at the very top. But we'll see. Should be exciting. Should be fun. I asked a little while ago, what were some predictions for FOMC from the subscribers or some of the guys in the room or ladies. So far, we only had a couple people step up and give their prediction. Anyone else want to give their prediction? Well, 6 votes already. All right. Let's see who wins. You guys already know my vote is bearish then bullish. We're going to have to do this one relatively quickly. We got 2.5 more minutes. So go ahead and vote. Hey everyone, 2.5 more minutes to vote. Go ahead and get your vote in. So far, 16 people have voted out of 70. All right, I'm going to go back up to the 5-minute time frame now. So we see a few more candles or a little more price action, fewer candles in the current range. All right, so when I say I'm bearish and bullish, I'm expecting this to be my bearish move, and then somewhere around 230, 245, then I'm expecting price to come back. And this extends all the way down. So something like this. Yeah, when it's announced, I'll throw it up. When it's announced, I'll put up what the results were. New day opening gap. Yep, right here. That's exactly why I put it there. And it's right here. Also, we have equal highs. Four-hour city. Yep. Alrighty. 22 votes in. Let's see any last ones. Go ahead and end the poll in a couple seconds. All right, poll is over. FOMC is here. All right. Price is doing its thing. Let's just go. All right. So it came in as expected. Forecast 5.5% is the Fed rate until the next one. There we go. 39 likes. That's better. Much better. All right. So half of you who voted thinks that we're going to buy up and then sell off. And another quarter of you said we're going to sell then buy. And then the last 25%, pretty almost half, both directions, saying we're just going to go straight buy or straight sell. You know, since we might have a good range, let's move up in our time frame that we're watching. Let's get rid of this. Okay, let's go ahead and do this then. Let's watch the three indices with the dollar. Let's watch these together for a couple minutes. Like Ray already mentioned, so we have lows swept by ES right here. Swept these lows. We have a Nasdaq holding, being stubborn. We even have our friend the Dow, which has been extremely strong recently, trading below a recent low. Fair value gap below. Maybe it'll find some support there and push out, but maybe not. We'll see. All right. All right, Luke, well, you got a very good entry then. Joshua, did you catch the FOMC where the interest rate remained consistent at 5.5%, meeting the forecast? All right, so the dollar has traded back into that range that it had been sitting in for all of yesterday, pretty much, and earlier today. So it's trading back inside. Looks like it reached just above the 50% mark and rejected out. But we'll see where it closes and if it continues to trade that direction. Oh, TJ. Okay. Oh, I thought he was saying he went short. Okay. All right. NASDAQ is still struggling to get to lower values as we've seen on the Dow and S&P. We're still only 5 minutes into into FOMC delivery, price delivery. We still have another 25 minutes before the press conference and before we see the second leg of this reaction. Let's, let's see if the 15-minute for each of these gives us a little more information. Looks like on a 15-minute, they found their pool of liquidity where on S&P and Dow, the pool of liquidity will be low, a most recent low, swing low. Whereas on the Nasdaq, there was actually a fair value gap it could trade into. There was nothing over on the S&P, and there was nothing to trade into on the Dow as far as fair value gaps most recently. Now there are some here to trade into, and let's go ahead and measure that out. 498. Okay, so look like maybe that's what happened here. Traded into a fair value gap. Okay, yep. Not the case over here, however. Definitely not the case. There are no fair value gaps to speak of for the S&P. Not that I can see in a recent time frame. Maybe one of these. All right, now that we have the second 5-minute candle closing, I'm going to go back to the other chart and let's take a look and see if on a 5-minute chart, the first two candles gives us anything. Three six Mafia. No, I don't actually. And I feel like I know all of their songs. Oh, Chicken Head, Project Pat. Okay, got it. Take me back to my college days. Oh, okay, the very, very intro. Got it. All right, wait for a price to break through this. Soon to be 38. Oh, yeah, in April I'll be 44. There we go. Yep, not too far off. I am. I'm definitely an Aries. I'm April 4th. Mm, there it is. Bunch of Aries in the group. All right, lots of wicks, but not a huge range. I'm pretty surprised actually. Normally, what you would get on FOMC is a much larger range than this. That looks like. I mean, granted, it was only 5 minutes, but it's 100 points, but or 90 points. Not nearly as much as I've seen in previous FOMCs. And then now we have back-to-back candles trading in the range. So let me go a little higher, go back up to 15 minutes, since we see the 5 minutes not really providing a lot of information. And we'll see what this next 15-minute candle does. When it closes up, then we'll be at the press conference, and we'll see if the press conference sends prices in a different direction. I'm assuming during the press conference, someone's going to raise their hand and say, hey, when do you think you're going to start cutting? Since we stopped raising about 6 months ago, and all the most recent job figures have been better than expectations, and that Fed has hinted at they want to leave things alone until they have further confirmation. It sounds like maybe they have that, which is why they're predicting 6 cuts this year on CNBC. Somebody mentioned. And if that's the case, I can almost guarantee there's going to be many questions about when is that going to start. And so based on that answer, we'll see price make some sort of reaction. But for now, yep, let's just hang tight. We got another 15 minutes. And so far, we're all unscathed. Nobody jumped in trades as far as I'm aware of. But if you did, hope everything worked out for you. Crypto's back. All right. So you missed I mean, I wouldn't call it lackluster because it still was a 90-point move the first 5 minutes of FOMC, but I just expected more. Oh, bundle up. All right. We had the same birthday. D. Anderson, you jumped in. All right. Good for you, man. That's probably not a bad idea, Ray. You know what? I didn't have too much luck earlier in my trade. Let me go ahead and swap over to demo so I can join in the fun. I have to go and redo my Topstep demo account. They made some changes just recently, and I have to go in and do something. So right now, my demo account's not showing on my Tradovate. So I just logged into TradingView's paper trading. Yep. So if you're talking about the 1 hour fair value gap crypto, I think that's right around 304. So I think it's right below this 15-minute fair value gap. So at the lower edge of where we are with price. So yep, we're almost there. Hmm. Yep. All right, looks like we might get the second penetration into this fair value gap on the 15-minute. Let's drop this into the 1 hour. There we go. So 1 hour at the bottom left, 15-minute on the big screen there. All right, there we go. All right, therefore we don't have to worry about where that level is. Oops. Hey. Oh, thought I did that already. There we go. So 1 hour BISI is right there. So crypto, the level you were looking at 306. We're now watching it on the big screen there within this 15-minute chart. Or if we move down to the 5, so wherever we land, we'll still have that on there. Right, in the next 10 minutes, let's see if we get a sweep of these lows here. And then after that sweep of the lows, let's see if we get some sort of bullish reaction out of it. Yeah, okay. Oh, sorry. Sorry, bringing it back. I forgot. There we go. Yeah, whenever I pull up the screen with the dollar and the other 3 indices, I have to remove my picture so you can see the dollar chart, and I forgot to put it back. Yep, ES and Dow swept lows immediately, almost immediately when they were pushing downwards. That was one of the things that Ray brought up, was that Nasdaq was holding firm and not looking for those lows at 283. So we'll see if that continues, or if Nasdaq does at the press conference release go south and start looking for those lows. Okay, we're only a couple minutes away from the press conference starting. Just give me 1 second. I have to do something that I have to turn the air conditioner off. It's cold in here. There we go. Great. So we did get a return into the fair value gap here. It stayed there for a bit. We have another minute before the candle closes. Looks like it wants to close above, just like the previous candle. Give it another 40 seconds, see where it closes. And then let's get ready for the press conference. No, I don't even know where to pull it from. But no, if we watch the press conference, that would make trading kind of difficult. The Anderson, where are you at exactly? Are you in the Middle East somewhere? Or Central America, possibly? Yeah, we have a problem here where at night it gets down to around 60, somewhere in that area. But during the day it'll get up to 75 or 6, and it'll hold too. So your house will be that warm, and so it's tough to sleep at night. So then I have to turn on the air conditioning just to sleep at night and keep the house down to around 70 degrees. But during the day, when I'm sitting here with no socks on and uh, door closed, it does get cold in here. Not to mention, my feet are close to my computer. I still have a desktop computer, and the fans down there are blowing. All right, Panama. Yeah, I figured somewhere in Central America because I know when you're close to the equator, you'll have warm temperatures year round. Central America. All right. B. Anderson, are you an American expat or are you Panamanian? Oh, you're from Atlanta. Okay. Been living there for 3 years. Got it. Okay. It's amazing. I always thought one of these days I would have visited when I used to work in the shipping industry, and it just kind of never really happened. But a couple friends of mine actually live there now. All right, here's the opening, the initial reaction to the press conference. And here's the thing: is the press conference starts at 2:30, not a single word has been spoken, and price is already moving. Powell or whoever's speaking probably stepped up and said, "Hey, good afternoon, everyone," and all of a sudden the market started moving. Long from 319. Okay. Out at 371. Okay, so you're looking for 50 points, 52 of them. Okay, let's see what happens. DJ, don't worry about it. You'll catch the next one on your live account. All right, equal highs, equal lows. Who wins? Okay, high is taken first. Remember, we have new day opening gap in this yellow shaded area. We have equal highs at 426, these two. We then have a New York high, which has not been traded to yet, at 454. And we have a London high, which has not been traded to yet, at 468. Okay, immediate rebalance there. Okay, we have equal lows down here, and just shy of that, or just past there, is a 1 hour BISI fair value gap, a bullish fair value gap at 306. That wick. Mm-mm. All right, we pretty much see a full retracement on all the indices as well as the dollar. Let's go and show you what we're looking at here. Right, all indices are now pushing higher. They were all down here before. Dollar was up in this area. Now it's pushing to the downside big time. All right, get back over to NQ. So I was hoping that we would get this type of bullish momentum, but I thought it would come from down here, actually well below. And it seemed like price wasn't willing to go that far. But that's fine. So like I said, up next, so we have the new day opening gap, this entire yellow region. But we have equal highs, a New York high, and a London high. All right, so we've gotten another 100-point move, but this time a bullish move since 4:30. So in 10 minutes, got 100 points. And it's not done yet. The New York high and London high are up next. And on higher time frames, this move hopefully will get us back looking at bullish momentum for the rest of the week, and we'll be looking at highs, and it should make price action a little easier to see and a little easier to engage. In fact, I stand corrected. I say we've had that in the last 12 minutes. Actually, since 2:37, we've had a 100-point move. And one of the lessons I learned from ICT is he always mentioned it was a double move. So at 2 o'clock, you get one direction. And then he said at 2:30, you should expect the opposite direction. And so far, that has played out. We didn't go as far down as I thought we would, but we are definitely digging into these open highs, session highs from earlier today. New York is now done. Those equal highs are done. Dash line, midnight open. Or it should be the midnight open. It's possibly midnight open from yesterday. Let's see. Nope, midnight open from today. There we go. So let's see if we can get all the way up to that London high and then see where we go from there. All right, Anderson. Yeah, see you tomorrow morning. Definitely. Yep. If you feel like you're missing something or it just looks too good and you need to get a chunk of it, yeah, go ahead and close your computer. Come back tomorrow. I'll try it again. But good job today. And thanks for being a part of the chat and keeping us awake. We'll catch you tomorrow. London high gone. All session highs and lows today have been traded to. Didn't quite trade down to that 1 hour busy we were looking at earlier. That's fine. That's fine. We did trade into it earlier this morning, during between like 10:30 and 11 o'clock. There was a big range in this area, so we have traded to it. We just didn't do it after lunch. Price is still running up without any retracement so far. So the move from FOMC that I was hoping to see is actually this up move here, and that's what is running away now. And so far, it hasn't had a retracement, and that's not uncommon from FOMC. It generally don't like to let you get in on a trade once it's shown its hand. It'll usually run until whatever target it's looking for. Okay, let's go to the 15-minute and see there. Maybe this is where we'll get a retracement since we've passed all of this buy side liquidity here. Maybe we'll get a retracement here and then we'll continue seeking higher prices. Okay. All right. If I look at the way price is structured, if you look at from here, so let's start here. Say we went down, traded back up, went down even further. This area down here only had down trading, traded back up, traded down one more time and back up through the entire range. So if you look at this range, this entire range is now balanced. All of this has had equal bullish and bearish treatment. Oops. Running out of colors here. Don't like that either. These colors are so ugly. All right, we'll do purple, whatever. Anyway, this whole area here is balanced. You know, maybe it's better to. There we go. That's better. So any retracement back doesn't really have to go far. It can go farther, but it doesn't have to. If you see just a tiny retracement and then it takes off again, it's because all of this area has now been balanced. It's even better. Just put a box around it. Big that needs to be. No way. Still 55 points. Crazy. This is insane. $50 points. Nice. Oh, CEO. Didn't see you pop your head in here. Welcome. Yep. Yeah, Ray, at that 4 hour civvies also looks like a volume imbalance there. All right, Mark. Good job. Yep, we're still inside of a daily BISI right now. Still inside. Weekly, we're right on the cusp of trading back into it. All right. Press conference, half hour is almost over. We got another 5 minutes and then we'll be in power hour. Seems like price should be um, evening out a little bit and getting back to its normal price action that has been delivering with smaller ranges. Right, 100 points delivered in 5 or 6 minutes is normal for FOMC, but we should get back to normal price ranges for the next hour. So another 4 minutes or so, we'll start looking for potential entries. In fact, let me get down to the 1 minute just to look at this macro period. All right. Lower turnout today. I think FOMC scared a lot of people from the afternoon session, but that's okay. We're all here. Cool, calm, collected. All right. Want to see if we get a sweep of this low before anything else happens. But if it takes off to the upside, that also wouldn't surprise me. Hmm. Okay, so it looks like it's coming against me. Go ahead and just so everyone knows, this is paper trading. I'm not trading my account during this hour. Hmm. I was just testing something out on the 10-second chart. All right, so we got a complete retracement. Took about 12 minutes. And we got a complete retracement, melt back down from 480. Now we're down at 320. So you're talking 150 points up, 150 points down in the span of 230 to 310. Or I'm sorry, 302. 230 in 30 minutes. 150 up, 150 down. There's that hour busy. So we have a sweep of the equal lows we had before. Tapped into it. So now let's see what is how will price react now. Look, okay, it looks like it's going to continue digging. So let's get to a higher time frame then. Okay, let's see if we actually get down to the level I was thinking we would get to. All right, I was looking for 17,100, which is about a little bit more than two deviations away. Well, I'll take that back. It's one standard deviation away. Okay, we're back to halfway point, 50% of the daily busy. Okay. Nice energetic move the opposite direction. Let's see. All right. So this is why I don't trade FOMC. Not that I'm trading it properly anyway. I'm just playing around in a demo account, but I'm looking at the 5, 10 second, and 15 second, just trying some different things. We're looking to see if a new low is made. Okay, so that was not done. $43. $54. $254. I didn't think about that, Bob. Yes, today is the final day of the month. I didn't even take a peek at the monthly candle just to see what it looked like. So while we're sitting here, let's do that. Let's grab the monthly candle. Oh boy, that's ugly. Let's get the lipstick off. All right, so it looks like we're gonna finish up somewhere like this, maybe a little bit lower. The upper wick, probably similar size as the lower wick. We'll see. Get back down to the 5-minute. All right, so now price is crashing back down. Let's see if it finds some support in these fair value gaps on the 10 second or not. $65. 272 maybe. Trying to refine this a little bit. Right, there we go. An acceptable risk. Everyone watching, as I've said already, just in case you missed it, I'm in a paper account, so I'm just trying something out from the 5, 10, and 15-second charts. Please do not copy my trade. I think now it's time to abandon this trade. Even though I'm in demo still, it's worth abandoning. I saw basically a 3 drives pattern in all the lower time frames, so it's making slightly higher highs, slightly higher lows, but not moving anywhere. So it's just building liquidity to come and sweep. All right, now that I got that out of my system, finally. All right, yeah. Not sure the price action is going to change immediately since he just stopped talking. Hey, yep. I never pointed this out, but about 15 minutes ago, you can see on Nasdaq. Remember, we were looking, and we saw that S&P and the Dow had both taken out those earlier session lows, and Nasdaq was holding up in this area, and it wouldn't break the lows. That happened about 15 minutes ago, so I just wanted to point that out. I neglected to do so before. All right, just logged out of my paper account, so I don't even have a paper account logged in for now. Hmm. So are we sweeping highs to go lower? Make a sweep of this 313 level? Because I don't see a break of structure or anything that would send price higher after a consolidation. Hmm. Mark, I'm really not sure. Really not sure, to be honest with you. I don't know. Maybe there's some others in the room who can speak to this, but I'm not sure of any that had their margins increased. Oh, okay. No sign of early rate cut yet. I'm sure they said, hey, we don't know yet. We still want to see. We have some numbers that we haven't hit yet, and we're optimistic that we'll get there. But until we get there, we can't. Yeah, sure, that was the speech. Since it's an election year, I'm sure as we get closer to primary season, we'll start seeing those rate cuts happen. So then they can start including those into election speech about how the economy is in great shape, and now we're seeing easing of financial instruments and all of that. Mm, 335. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, let's see if this trend line can hold. If trend line can hold, then possibly. Otherwise, yeah, maybe not. We're coming up on 330 in a couple minutes. So we'll see what the second half of this hour brings us. Market's not happy yet. Okay. Oh, 225. I see. 225. Welcome back, Vivian. Um, I don't know. I never really learned the flags, so I can't really comment on that. I mean, I know what they look like, but when I see it, I don't say, "Oh, it's going to break out to the downside" or "It's going to break out to the upside." So I have no idea. Anyone who's familiar with the flag pattern, can you answer cool, calm, and collected? But this kind of trend line situation you see is what they call trend line liquidity. So what you're expecting is at some point it's going to start seeking lower prices, and it's going to come and take all these swing lows at one time. So it's just going to sweep through them. So maybe that's why it's a bear flag. But yeah, whenever you see this start forming, it keeps putting these lower lows or these swing lows kind of in a trend line situation, but price is really not running anywhere. It moves up 3 candles, comes back down, moves up, comes back down. So yeah, it's not in a hurry to get anywhere. Let's say that. Be honest, I don't know my winning percentage. All right, Vivian, congratulations. Good luck on phase 2. Well, first swing low's already been taken. Here's the next one, and then the third one down at 242. All right, second low, which was also a equal low, has now been taken. Last one, 242. Drop the trend line. 73.67. Ray, you're saying that the conference call has a up, then has a fake out, and then a continue an opposite direction move, just for the conference call, not including the original announcement. Because we have the up move starting at 2:30, and then around 2:45 we have it then reversing. All right, Deepak. Good luck. All right, consolidation for the last 30 minutes or so. We'll see if that's how it closes out, or if in the next 20 minutes we get something good to see. 10 minutes, 350 macro will start. Yep. Good reminder. Yes, NFP this week as well. NFP on Friday. You said midnight open and a 1 hour bearish breaker. Okay. Yeah, I was just looking at the midnight open with the new week open or new day opening gap here that it's in. So it finally closed out. So what happened yesterday when it opened back at 1800 down here, it started pushing upwards and it got about 80% through the gap and then started to melt down. So the top 20% was open, just got closed in here, and then it melted down. But you're right. There's a lot there. There's you said a 1 hour bearish breaker. We also have the midnight open. Just below right here is the 8:30 open. Uh, let's see what else. You had equal highs here, so there are a lot of things that could have been, I guess, liquidity, and then we saw, yes, price melt down from there, sweeping these equal lows, and also taking out that 1 hour. What was it, 1 hour fair value gap it traded into? Nope, not a 1 hour. I think it was. Let's see. Actually, it was 1 hour. Yeah, it was a 1 hour fair value gap that it traded into. It's actually below that 1 hour now completely. So that 1 hour, that's why it's not shown on the chart anymore. The next one is at 202. All right, 15 minutes left. 15 minutes left. Let's see what the 350 macro brings. If it gets us something good, then that'll be great for anyone still trading. If it proves to be a dud and just lethargic price movement, then we'll go ahead and end the stream today. But let's see how that gets started in the next few minutes. One minute. Here we go. Let's see if it'll finally sweep this last low. from when we had that flag discussion. Not yet. Okay, finally did take that low. See how the next candle opens up. Hmm. All right. Any final questions or comments? Go ahead and throw it in the chat so we can finish up on time today. $8:15 on Friday. Oh man, jeez, that's early on Friday. Oh, because it's 8:30 NFP. You want to you want to trade NFP? Really? Let's see. I'll consider it. Let me think about it because I would need to wake up even an hour earlier than normal. All right, so I need to wake up at 5 o'clock that day. Okay. I'll consider. I'll throw out a poll tomorrow and see if anyone else wants to join. Right? Seems like we have. Seems like we exhausted all the questions, so there are no more forthcoming. And price doesn't look like it wants to do very much these days. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the stream here just a couple minutes early, and just say farewell. Thank you all for joining today. Thanks for being part of the chat. Those of you who are active, and if you haven't already, like the video on the way out. And if you're brand new, definitely subscribe so you get an invitation to the next one. And for all the subscribers who are here with me every day, thank you so much. You're the reason why this is happening the way it is. And I will catch you tomorrow morning, 9:15. Cheers, all. London, for me, it's 2 hours early. So I think it's midnight. So midnight for me. All right, all. Take care. I'll talk to you tomorrow morning.